Here at Gundam Planet, we're all about big pointy boys, and that's why I am bringing to you the all-new Re-100 Bawoo. Or is it Bawoo? Or Bawoo? I actually don't know. And maybe if I had really watched a lot of Double Zeta Gundam, I'd probably know, but I'm a bad Gundam fan and haven't, because I'm kind of just too lazy to do it. But if there's one thing I know about Double Zeta is that I absolutely love the mobile suit designs in it. They are so over the top and so very, very much of their time, and I think they're great. And so that is why, one of the many reasons why I've been excited for the Bawoo here. Also, not to mention the fact that it's part of the Re-100 line, which, as some of you might know, is one of my favorite, if not my favorite line that Bandai puts out of model kits these days. So I'm always hotly anticipating a new release. So let's dive right in to see what this guy's all about. And right out of the box, I am just super impressed with the detail and just the way these parts look. Very nice brown going on here. Don't really see a lot of that. That's going to be the shield. It's a really neat looking shield. Same thing with the gun, sort of different gun, you know. Again, as you'd come to expect, it's just two big parts, but the parts have like a lot of clean detail, and the plastic is very soft, nice feeling plastic, very into it. This yellow, like, they actually got the yellow right, which almost never happens, so the yellow actually looks spectacular. All the colors are like, they're muted, so it all just feels right, man. Just like this gray here, nice inner frame. All this inner frame gray going on. Looks great. Got some darker gray, blackish going on sort of thing, but this is also cool. Again, detail everywhere. Really nice etched in detail on the parts. More of that yellow I was talking about. Looks absolutely awesome. More gray there, a little bit of lighter gray that time. And then here's the bulk of your model here is this red. This is a big, pointy red man, and he's got a lot of red going on, and he's got these big parts here that just all have these nice, even on the underside, just has this nice panel lining everywhere. It's all super detailed, so break out however you panel line things, because you got some work to do, because while it does look good, it'll definitely look better with some nice panel lining, because they serve it to you on a plate. Like, they're just like, here, panel line. We have so much of it. It'll look great. Same thing there. Here's that same sheet of polycaps that come with every Re-100 kit. It's the same every time, except for the Nightingale, I can't remember, but for most of them, it's been this exact thing. Got a pretty nice sheet of sticker decals. They're all really nicely cut and very cleanly printed. This is the big decal that goes on the skirt armor. I don't know what it means. I don't read Japanese, so I have no idea. But it is definitely cool. Got some Neo Zeon logos, Neo Zeon, and everything you might expect. Very cool. And last but not least, some light yellow, like greenish yellow beam sabers. Very cool. And here we go with some more P-Bandai propaganda, just so, in case you weren't aware, they're making a Re-100 Re-Bawoo from Unicorn Gundam. And yeah, all those flourishes and the sleeves markings, probably going to be stickers. So we'll see how that turns out. And you get two little stickers, speaking of stickers. Harmless. I like that a whole bunch. Here's your manual, nice and filled with all the details you would like, and it's in English. The manuals are in English now. How crazy is that? I can finally read things about what the Bawoo Nutter is. I never got to read about that before, but now thanks to this manual, you can read all of the flavor text that you've always ignored on Gundam manuals. So that's very exciting, and I'm very excited to build this kit, so I'm going to get right to it. So here he is, all put together, and I guess like the way I'll start this is to say that I'm not as immediately as like ecstatic and like impressed as I was with some of the previous Re-100 releases, like the Afreet and the GPO4. But that doesn't mean to say that this is a bad model, because it's not. This is actually a great model. It was a real pleasure to build and put together, and really where the main issue stems from is, surprise, surprise, it has a transformation gimmick. And it does hurt the poseability and overall just like stability of the kit in a big way, but it's not as bad as some of the transforming master grades that I've built. It's definitely less complex and more, I guess, like just more put together well than your average fully transforming kit. The transformation is not complex. It just uses, you know, like the latch gimmicks that you would see in something like the Zeta Gundam And I'll show you what the transformation looks like in the spinny base shots. It's not that exciting looking, and odds are you're not going to want to display it that way. I know I'm not. But other than that, some quick things about this guy is he is very pointy. Very, very pointy. Be careful when you're messing around with this guy. He's very mean looking, and it definitely doesn't hold your hand in that regard. You have to be careful and delicate with it because it's not going to be friendly to you, because pretty much everything on this guy is a sharp edge, which is cool, but just be careful. And the Poseability, which we'll get into when we come up close, is not great, but the overall look of this thing is phenomenal. Blows the high grade out of the water. This is the definitive Bawoo kit now, and in that regard, I am extremely pleased with it. So let's bring it up close, and we'll take a look at some of the finer details on this guy. So here's the man up close. First thing I'm going to say is I have him standing now, and he does stand, but you got to notice that you're not going to get a lot of poses out of him while he's standing on the ground, so you definitely want to get this man up in the air, grab an action-based one, get him up higher. A lot more options open up to you when you do that. But before we go into the Poseability, I'm just going to move out of the way real quick. We're going to take a look at the accessories. He doesn't really come with a lot of accessories. First things first, you get the gun. The gun is molded very well. It has a lot of great detail in there. Really, my only complaint is the lack of color. Like, you get this one orange-red piece there. But I definitely think a couple more colored pieces really would have made this gun pop. But, you know, like always, if you're going to paint it, no problem, because otherwise the mold on this thing is great. Really like the way it looks. Next up, you get these missile packs that slide onto the wings on the backpack. They don't really stay on too well. I don't really think they add anything to the kit, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave them off, but they are there. Next thing is this awesome-looking shield. This shield rules, and they use a lot of simple part separation to make this thing great. Really like the way this emblem here was a separate piece, and these thrusters here, while probably should give them a little paint, they just pop in the back through one piece. Only complaint about the shield is the connection isn't very good. It's just this little hook right here, and you just pop it onto the side of the arm, and it's going to stay there, but it's not the strongest connection in the world, so it will fall off, and you'll just have to replace it while you're posing the guy. Next thing, you get these two nice yellow beam saber blades. Really like these a lot. Don't really see them too often. I like the fact that the Bawoo holds its beam saber handles in its arm here. It's really neat. Don't really see that too much. And, you know, like any other beam saber, pop them up, pop them in, and it has a little latch so that you pop them in the hands and you pop it in there. These are the only hands it comes with. They're like the good clamp hands that I like. Work really well. If you want to get like different varieties of hands, you could get the 100 scale builder's parts hands, but as it stands, I'm not really too mad about the lack of hands. So that's all the accessories. Not too much to offer, but really nothing more than this guy needs. So let's talk about Poseability, which leaves a bit to be desired. So first things first, like the other Re-100s, you're going to get like a pretty decent bend in the elbow there. Nothing spectacular. Now, I would normally think that it's because this big shoulder piece gets in the way, but it's actually not. The shoulder piece will move out of the way, and it's really just the joint. That's the max you're going to get out of the joint. So it's not great, but not terrible. The shoulder is on like this. It has this exposed poly cap in there, which aesthetically I really don't like all that much, but it does offer a better range of motion than if it were covered up by something. But even still, you're going to get like that much lift out of the shoulder, and that's even like pushing it, like that's the most you're gonna get. And then the actual arm can spin all around and come out of the socket a little bit. So it's a good articulation gimmick, but I just kind of wish those poly caps weren't exposed. On the torso, you get 0 ab crunch, which is an unfortunate sacrifice to pull off the transformation gimmick, which, what are you gonna do? The head can move around a little bit, but this big spiky piece on the back does limit Poseability, especially these giant collar pieces coming out of here. So, you know, you're going to notice a pattern, and a lot of the problems with the Poseability on this kit go down to the design of the Bawoo. It is not the most efficiently designed mobile suit I've ever seen, but it is cool, so I'll give it a pass on that. These pieces like to pop out a little bit, so I'm just going to ignore that for now. Nice little detail, if you can see, is this little emblem on the chest here. That is actually a separately molded piece, and on a not as cool model kit, that would have just been molded into the black part. You would have to paint it, so I'm really glad that they did that. and just a lot of nice little details all over it. Moving on to the waist, I want to just pop this guy out real quick to make it easier to show you how the legs work, because just know that things are going to bump into each other. This is just how this kit works. You have these big fat front skirts which are connected, and I didn't really feel comfortable cutting them because I wasn't really sure if they were going to stay in properly due to the way it's engineered. And unfortunately, you just don't get a lot of movement out of them. You have to really try to get it out of the way, and unfortunately that limits leg movement significantly, especially in the back, which is just one big fat piece, so you really are just not gonna get much anything. But the knee is spectacular. You get that fat double jointed knee and get it all the way up there, which is really nice. The feet also kind of have a similar problem with being hindered by the design. These big fat pieces on the sides of the leg, you don't get a lot of big foot movement out of them, but it does enough. This ankle heel piece rather is nicely articulated like that. So, side skirts just come out of the way. The side skirts have to do with the transformation into your friend, the Bawoo Nutter here. He's the best part, clearly, and so you can do that with him. And that is pretty much all there is to say. The legs are on a pretty simple joint, so all the sort of standard movements you expect one of these Gundam models to make. And this is also how you can see how it separates into these two parts of their transformation. This turns into the Bawoo Attacker, this turns into the Bawoo Nutter, and you're going to see, like I said, you're going to see the transformation in the spinny base shots. But that pretty much covers everything, and, it does the job, but I'm really not all that impressed with the articulation. So guys, in conclusion, this is a good model. It's not a shining example of what this line can do. I still recommend the Ifrit and the GP04 so you can get a good idea of what this line can bring. But as a model of the Bawoo, this thing is stellar. It looks great, builds great. The transformation, to me, was pretty inoffensive, but I still wish it wasn't there to provide for a more, I guess, just smooth building process and better posability options and everything. But as it stands, I'm happy I built it. I think you'll be happy to build it too, so go give it a try.
It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. Picky, baby girl.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll check out some of our other reviews that we do. We have put up new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so go ahead and drop a like on this video, subscribe to us for more, throw me a comment if you got any questions or comments or anything you want to say. Just go ahead and drop that down there. And also be sure to check out our friend March Sound. We have his SoundCloud in the description. He does all the music that you hear in these videos. He does great work, so you can go and check out some of his tracks. And as always, guys, I'll see you next time.